Yo, what's going on, everybody? So, I wanted to hop on here tonight and tell you guys the stories of the multitude of failed attempts I had trying to pick up girls at the bar. I mean, back in the day when I was drinking and partying and going out, I would try and pick up girls all the time, chat them up, right? And I missed every shot I took. I mean, it never worked, not one time. And I was pretty like good in person or on the apps when I was sober and shit like that, right? But any girl I tried to pick up at the bar, disaster. The first one that sticks out in my mind is way back in the day. I went to a Post Malone concert when he was still really small. I mean, there was probably only 400 of us at this concert, and it was just in a field in Ottawa. It was super random. He got destroyed on stage. I mean, he fell off the stage, but he was still small time enough where he was like announcing where he was going to go drink after the show. So the whole crowd would turn up and get lit. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh my God, we have to go wherever he says, because I was a big fan at the time and I was convinced. I was like, dude, if me and Post Malone can chill for a bit, he's going to fuck with me and we're going to become best friends, obviously, right? So he said he was going to the casino and I was like, boys, we're going. So we took an Uber over there and we started drinking. I quickly realized Post Malone was in the high rollers room in the back of the casino and I was never going to be allowed in there, so I never saw him again. I blew like 20 bucks on the slot machine, didn't know how to play any card games. So me and my boy are at the bar just drinking, coming to the realization we're not going to become, a famous guy's friends. But my buddy realizes that there's two girls at the end of the bar and he's like, "Yo, go talk to them, see if they'll come like chill with us. Maybe we'll go gamble with them or like hang out." And I was like drunk enough to be like, I got this. Watch this. And I was going to go introduce myself and see if they'd come hang out with us. Well, I go over there and start talking to them, and I'm doing like all the talking. They're not really saying anything. And I'm just trying to fill the silence. It was super awkward, and I'm drunk rambling. Well, somehow I get on the topic of Trailer Park Boys, and the girl's just like, "Oh, I'm actually friends with the daughter of the girl who plays Sarah in that show." And I was like, "What? No fucking way." I was like mind blown, right? That's my favorite show of all time. And I was like, "Yo, can I meet Sarah?" And she was like laughing, being like, "I'll see what I can do," all this, right? Well, I just ordered 3 tequila shots for me and the girls, and the guy brings it over, and I'm like, "Here, I got us some shots, whatever," thinking I'm top dog, that I'm sick. And the girls are like, "Yeah, we're good. We don't want them." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, true, no problem." So I just nailed 3 tequila shots back to back right in front of them. And my buddy is dying laughing at me like down the bar because I'm striking out so bad, right? The girls are just like now concerned because that was fucked. So they just kind of shake their heads and be like, "We have to go. We're sorry. Bye." And they leave. And I'm like, fuck. So I go back over to my buddy and now I'm just destroyed because I had already been drinking all day and night. And it was already like 1 or 2 in the morning. And I just smashed 3 tequila shots for no reason. So I failed. Now, the second one also somehow revolves around Post Malone. I guess I was just like a super stan back in the day. I guess I was like his biggest fan because, again, I was wearing Post Malone merch and I was at a completely different bar. I used to think it was like the coolest shirt in the world. It's so bad. It's horrendous. I mean, I can't even imagine what girls were thinking. It's just like the entire shirt is pure yellow. I mean, blinding yellow, right? And then there's just a gold grill in the middle and it's smoking a cigarette. And I was like, this is the coolest shirt in the world. So I wore that out and I would be like drinking Bud Light and I would try and like, I guess my whole persona at the time was how big of a Post Malone fan I was, because for some reason I was chatting this girl up at the bar about him being like, "Yeah, this is his shirt, like I'm drinking Bud Light, blah blah blah, cuz Post Malone." And anyways, she was kind of intrigued. I was making it funny, obviously. I wasn't flopping too bad. And she was laughing. And then I kind of shot my shot and she shot it right down instantly. So she didn't let me buy her a drink or like go dance or something like that, right? And she left. Now I thought nothing of it. I was like, meh, whatever. On to the next. And I just was like drunk enough where I was going to go see if any girl would dance with me. But I caught my buddy and we started chatting it up for a while. And then he went his way and I went the other. I don't remember why. And when I went the other way, I bumped into a girl and I was just like, "Oh, like, sorry about that," and got right back into it. I guess the script of the night. And I was just like, again, talking about Post Malone for God knows whatever reason. I was probably just like too hammered to have anything original to say. And I was like, I'm just going to talk about my t shirt. So that's what I did again. And I went on for a while. I did a whole spiel for like 3, 4 minutes, you know what I mean? And then the girl looked at me and she was like, "Do you honestly not remember?" And I was like, "What? Like, what do you mean?" And then I clued in. I was like, "Holy fuck, this is the same girl." It was literally the exact same girl, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And she was just like shaking her head, walking away, and I was like, "Jesus Christ." Anyways, I went and found my buddy, and I was like, "I think I got to take a break from this." Now, another time I was at the same bar that previous story happened at. This bar was crazy, by the way. I mean, it was massive. It was so big that they always had multiple live bands, one in the front and one in the back, and it was like 2 or 3 stories. This place was huge. If you lost your friends in here, you were actually cooked. I mean, you probably wouldn't find them again. And it was always busy as fuck. I mean, there was all ages in there. And by all ages, I mean it like went from like 19 to like probably 30, right? So it was a healthy mix. It actually made it a lot more fun, and everybody was always in good spirits, dancing and shit. The live music was good. And when the bands weren't on, they played like modern rap music and all that. So I was like, we thought that bar rocked. We went there all the time. And this night was no different. And like I said, there were so many different like ages here that it made talking to girls easier. I often tried to talk to girls who were like 23, 24, 25, older than me, you know, because they were nicer. The conversation would be more pleasant. And if they were going to shoot you down, they were mature enough to kind of be respectful. It wasn't that bad, right? 19 and 20-year-old girls, not the case. Not the case. They could be fucking mean, dude. So I think that's why guys get so scared to shoot their shot, because some of those younger girls, oh my God, sometimes they'll strike a chord. So, anyways, I went and talked to this girl who was like a bit older than me. It was evident. I thought she was like 25, you know, and we got pretty far into the conversation. We danced. We dirty danced, you know, got a little greasy on the dance floor. I was buying her drinks and I was like, this is it. Finally, this girl's attractive. I talked to her at the bar. I think I'm actually going to take a girl home from the bar for the first time, right? Well, right at the end of the night, it's all wrapping up. She tells me she's like 28. And I was like, no way. I didn't believe her. And she was like, how old are you? So I just said I was like 24, but she was like, no, seriously. Cause I was kind of a baby face at the time, you know? And I had to tell her, I just owned up. I was like, I'm 19. And she's like, oh, if you were any older, you know, like this could happen, blah, 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 right? And I was like, oh, come on. And I was like trying to convince her into it. I was like, it's not a big deal. Who cares? You know, who gives a fuck? You know, like, let's go if you're down. And she's like, I just said I wouldn't go home with guys younger than me anymore. And I was like, oh my God. So I don't know if she finessed me the whole fucking night or if it was a true story because she seemed pretty genuine. I don't know. I gave up. I went home and hung out with my roommates, and a couple of my friends from back home were up. So we were all like smoking weed. And I started thinking to myself, I was like, it actually would have been hilarious if this girl came home with me because she was just like giving herself a pep talk, like, I gotta smarten up, you know, I can't go home with guys younger than me anymore. That's cringy, all this shit, right? And she would have pulled up to my house after me being like, no, no, like, don't worry about it. I'm mature for my age. You won't even know that I'm younger than you, you know? It's not a big deal. And then she would have pulled up and there would have been like 6 dudes passing around a pipe blasting Travis Scott, and I would have been like, do you want me to make you some food? I can whip up some chicken fingers. She would have went in my room. There was no blinds on the window at all. There was no furniture in this whole house. So it was going to be the epitome of what she was trying to avoid. So I was at a bar in Toronto with one of my boys. It was just me and him, and it was kind of rare for us to go out and do this, but since we were both single, we're like, yo, fuck it. Let's take this opportunity to try and go meet some girls, right? Well, we start talking to these 2 blonde girls at the bar, and for some reason, it's actually kind of working out in our favor, and they were super attractive. I mean, blonde girls, French accents, not from the country. We were like, holy shit, this is this is so cool, right? And I took the girl that I was talking to outside because she was going out to have a smoke, and I was like, all right, I'll join you, right? And I'm out there with her, and things are picking up a little, you know, we're getting a little more intimate out there. Well, she was like talking about me coming home with her and all this shit, you know, she had like a hotel or some shit, and I was like, okay, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, if this had worked out with this girl, this would be S tier #1 girl I would have ever hooked up with, right? And the French accent was just like the cherry on top. But this huge dude comes over, like this massive dude, and he's pretty swagged out, I'm not gonna lie. And this guy is the only person I've ever seen rock one of these. He had like a fake gun holster on, like over his chest. You know what I mean? You put like two pistols on each side of you in it. And he was just like over his white t shirt tucked into his jeans. And he had nice boots on and a belt. And he was like probably like 6'4". And I was like, fuck. What does this guy want? You know what I mean? Well, he just right in front of me, not even kidding you, right in front of me, just starts talking to this girl like I don't exist. And mind you, I'm probably like 5'9", 150 pounds at this point, right? This guy's also pretty jacked. And I'm just like, I didn't really know what to do. You know what I mean? And I kind of like make fun of him a bit. I tried to poke jokes at like the holster thing, but the girl's just like, I think they're cool. And I'm like, fuck sakes. So yeah, I lost her right there. That dude destroyed me. I mean, that was the biggest hit to my ego of all time, but I look back on it now, it's pretty jokes. So, as you can tell, me trying to pick up girls at the bar, waste of time. It never worked out for me. If you're able to do it successfully, I mean, more power to you, but for me, not worth it. Anyways, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Peace.